Hello everyone, welcome to BA Consulting Pro. This is the episode number 2 for the series of DA100 tutorial. In this today's session, we are going to discuss about the data analysis, an introduction, what is the process of data analysis. Then we are going to discuss about the component of data analysis, following by the roles associated in data analysis. And at last, we would discuss about the task of a data analysis. Not only that, at the end of this video, I am going to give you 3 questions, and those questions you need to answer. Please don't forget to share your comments in the comment section with your answers. And in my next video, that is going to come on this coming Saturday, I'm going to provide you the answers as well. So stay tuned till the end of this video. So the very first we are going to discuss about data analysis. Let's talk about data analysis. What is a data analysis? So whenever we need to analyze the data, we need the data. And the data can come from the different sources. That can be from the database, from the cloud, from the documents, and we have to analyze the trends for the data. Also, it can be a process where we are going to analyze the data. So data analysis itself is a quite big topic if we are going to talk about. Before data can be used to tell a story, it has to go through the certain steps. As a data analyst, you are on a journey. Think about all the data that is being generated each day and that is available in an organization. From transactional data in a traditional database, telemetry data from the services that you use, to signal that you get from the different areas like social media. For example, today's retail businesses collect and store massive amount of data. If we talk about the different brands, for example, Zora or Nike, or even we can talk about any other famous brand like Adidas, anything, you will get to know that they have massive amount of data and they need to analyze their data. They need to perform the data analysis on their data so that they can unlock the different patterns in the data. A retail business should be able to use their vast amount of data and information in such a way that impacts the business, including tracking inventory, identifying purchase habits, detecting user trends and patterns, recommending purchases, determining price optimization, identifying and stopping frauds. Additionally, you might be looking for daily, monthly sale patterns, common data segments that you might want to examine include day over day, week over week, and month over month, so that you can compare the sales in different months or different time period, and which can be helpful you to make you to procure more inventory, or to analyze how much profits you are gaining or what was the revenue, etc. Now, the key to unlocking the data is being able to tell a story with it. If you are not able to tell a story with the data, then I believe you cannot understand really what's going on. In today's highly competitive and fast-paced business world, crafting reports that tell a story is what helps businesses, leaders take action on the data. Business decision makers depend on an accurate story to drive better business solutions or decisions. The faster a business can make a precise decision, the more competitive they will be and the better advantage they will have. Without story, it is difficult to understand the data is trying to tell. So now we are going to discuss about the data analysis process. What are the different steps that are involved in data analysis process? The very first is define why data analysis is needed. We must know what is the purpose of doing this data analysis. Otherwise, there is no sense to work on data analysis. The second one would be begin collecting data from sources. Once we are starting collecting data from the different sources, that can be coming from the blob storage, data lakes from different file system, Excel, text file, CSV, or from the SharePoint, or from the traditional database, relational database, or non-relational database. Then we should start getting the data from those sources. Thirdly, we should work on the clean and filter unnecessary data. Most of the time, the data that we are getting, it's a raw data. That is not a meaningful data. In order to make it meaningful, we have to clean the data. We have to remove the nulls. We have to remove unnecessary data. We have to apply the different transformations sometimes that we can generally do in different data analytics tool like Power BI, in the Power Query, or using different ETL tools as well. Now the fourth one is about begin analyzing the data. This is the step where we have to actually start the process of analyzing the data. And the last one is the fifth, is to interpret the results and apply them. So this is the part in the data analysis which comes to tell a story with the help of the data that you have gathered. Now you have already massaged the data or cleaned the data. You have already apply the different processes onto the data. Data is ready now to tell a story. So this is the part where we take the advantage of data visualization tools like Power BI and all. Now we are going to discuss about the core component of data analysis. To analyze data, core components of analytics are divided into different categories. And the very first category that we are going to talk about here, the main component of the data analysis part, is the descriptive one. Descriptive analytics help answer questions about what has happened based on the historical data. Descriptive analytics techniques summarize large data sets to describe outcomes to stakeholders. That means we have already a historical data stored in different traditional storage systems like the SQL Server database, or maybe that can be IBM DB2 or someone else. So by using that system or by using that data, we have to analyze that and we can tell what's going to happen in future based on our historical data. By developing key performance indicators, which are our KPIs, these strategies can help track the success or failure of key objectives. Metrics such as return on investments, which is ROI, are used in many industries, and specialized metrics are developed to track performance in a specific industries. In most of the organization, we always analyze the historical data and the data that is already been stored into our systems to generate the story, to generate different KPIs, scorecards, etc. An example of descriptive analytics is generating reports to provide a view of an organization's sales and financial data. Now we'll talk about the second component of this data analysis process, that is the diagnostic. Diagnostic analytics help answer questions about why events happened. Diagnostic analytics technique supplement basic descriptive analytics, and they use the findings from descriptive analytics to discover the cause of these events. So whenever certain things happened into our organization or into our database, so we need to find out why certain thing happened over there. And then descriptive analytics and this diagnostic analytics, they help us to get the reason. Generally, this process occurs in three steps. The one we talk about, the identifying anomalies in the data. So there are different visualization tools as well over here that helps us to find the anomalies in the data, and we can use the DAX as well. Plus there are certain languages that we can use like Python to find the anomalies in the data. And these anomalies might be unexpected changes in a metric or a particular market. Number two, collect data that is related to these anomalies. And number three, use statistical techniques to discover relationship and trend that explain these anomalies. So that's how we can work on diagnostic analytics. Now we are going to talk about the number three, which is the predictive analytics. Predictive analytics means you can predict something, as you can guess from the word. Predictive analytics help answer questions about what will happen in future, more like the forecasting. Predictive analytics techniques use historical data to identify trend and determine if they are likely to recur. Techniques includes a variety of statistical and machine learning techniques such as neural network, decision tree, and regression. So they are the different techniques that we can use to perform the predictive analytics. The number four that we are going to talk about here is the prescriptive analytics. Prescriptive analytics help answer questions about which action should be taken to achieve a goal or a target. By using insights from the predictive analytics, organizations can make data driven decisions, and this technique allows business to make informed decisions in the face of uncertainty. So, if you need to um, take some actions, you need to know what actions should you take in order to achieve a certain target. So, in that case, prescriptive analytics is going to help you out. Now, the last one that we are going to talk about is the cognitive analytics. Cognitive analytics attempt to draw inferences from existing data and patterns, drive conclusions based on existing knowledge bases, and then add these findings back into the knowledge base for future inference, a self-learning feedback loop. Cognitive analytics help you learn what might happen if the circumstances change and determine how might handle these situations. So in Power BI, we get lots of cognitive services. For example, we call text analysis. We can call the another technique which is known as sentimental analysis. Then the AI-based certain visuals are over there. So all those, or like image tagging, all those comes under the part of cognitive analytics. That's why Power BI has so many AI-based algorithms that can help you out to generate those kinds of solutions. Power BI is a powerful tool which would help you to do the AI-based cognitive analysis, and you can achieve almost everything without doing the actual coding in Power BI. Now let's talk about the roles in data. So we are talking about the data analysis, so it's very important. After knowing the process and components of Power BI, we should know about the different roles involved in the data analysis process. The very first role that we are going to talk about is the business analyst role, which is the most critical role because business analysts, they act as an interface between the business and the technology. So they gather the requirement from the business side, converted them into some documents, and those documents are being consumed by the technical team who have to code, who have to write the programs, who have to do a lot of things. While some similarities exist between a data analyst and a business analyst, the key differentiator between the two roles is what they do with the data. A business analyst is closer to the business and is a specialist in interpreting the data that comes from the visualization. Often, the roles of a data analyst and business analyst could be the responsibility of a single person, but it is not necessary. In all the big organizations, we have separate data analysts, separate business analysts, but when we talk about the medium and the small organization, they can have the same role for one person. Now the second one comes is the data analyst role. So data analyst role is actually quite a big role. It's not just a very simple and straightforward role. He has to do all the data analysis. He has to do the storytelling part. He has to also do cleaning and maintaining the data. So a data analyst enables businesses to maximize the value of their data assets through visualization and reporting tools such as Microsoft Power BI. Data analysts are responsible for profiling, cleaning, and transforming the data. Their responsibilities also includes designing and building scalable and effective data models and enabling and implementing the advanced analytics capabilities into reports for analysis. A data analyst works with the pertinent stakeholders to identify appropriate and necessary data and reporting requirements. Then they are tasked with turning the raw data into relevant and meaningful insights. A data analyst is also responsible for the management of Power BI assets, including reports, dashboards, workspaces, and the underlying data sets that are used in the reports. They are tasked with implementing and configuring proper security procedures in conjunction with the stakeholder requirements to ensure the safekeeping of all Power BI assets and the data set. So it's very important that we understand this role of data analyst, and this tutorial, the whole series is based on this part, data analyst only. D100 exam is for the certified data analyst role only. And so the more and more focus would be on data analyst part itself. Now it comes to the data engineer. Well, data engineers provisions and set up the data platform technologies that are on premises and in the cloud. They manage and secure the flow of structured and unstructured data from multiple sources. Data can come from a lot of spaces. So it's data engineers' responsibility to clean the data, to maintain them in particular databases, and to integrate the data from the all sources. Now we talked about the data scientist. So this is the second last role that we are going to talk about, and as we know that data scientist performs advanced analytics to extract value from the data. Their work can vary from descriptive analytics to predictive analytics. Descriptive analytics evaluates data through a process known as exploratory data analysis (EDA). Predictive analytics are used in machine learning to apply modeling techniques that can detect anomalies or patterns. These analytics are an important part of forecast models. But nowadays, analytics tools are very powerful. Even without coding, just using the UI tools or user interface tools, you can do a lot of operations that the data analyst performs. And that's why nowadays data analyst role is more important, because they can use tools like Power BI to perform advanced analytics without the need of data scientists in their team. The last role that we are going to talk about is the data administrator role. So we have the different databases, but those databases installation, maintenance, and checking them time to time, providing the supports and everything, we need the administrators who are gonna maintain those databases. The role of data administrator is different role from the data engineer, because data engineers basically works on the data. A database administrator monitors and manages the overall health of a database and the hardware that it resides on, whereas a data engineer is involved in the process of data wrangling, in other words, ingesting, transforming, while validating and cleaning the data that meets the business needs and the requirements. Till now, we have talked about the data analysis process, the data analysis components, and also the different roles involved in the data analysis process. We are now going to talk about the tasks that are involved in a data analysis process. Though I have already shortly defined in between while I was talking about the different roles and the different components of the data analysis process, what are the different tasks that a data analyst generally performs. So the very first task we are going to talk about the prepare. Prepare is nothing means preparing the data. It's not like you are preparing a food at your home, but it's a food for your organization. The way that I'm saying is preparing is the preparing of the data so that you can use that to tell a story, to present the data or the patterns to your stakeholders or to your executives. So after prepare, there is a second task, that is the modeling of the data. Modeling of data is very important, where we have to define the different kinds of relationship between the data. When the data is in a proper state, it is ready to be modeled. Data modeling is the process of determining how your tables are related to each other. The process is done by defining and creating relationship between the tables. From the point, you can enhance the model by defining metrics and addition custom calculations to enrich your data. There can be the case where you are generating the different calculated columns, or that can be the case where you are creating different measures. So that all comes under the modeling part. Creative and effective and proper data model is critical step in helping organizations understand and gain valuable insights into the data. An effective data model makes reports more accurate, allow the data to be explored faster and more efficient. decreases time for the report writing process, and simplifies future report maintenance. Data modeling is very important part. If you are building a report, then I'll suggest you spend 70% of your time on data modeling, because once your data model is correct, then report would generate accurate, and you won't have to worry about the data modeling process anymore or the data accuracy process anymore. The third task in a data analyst process is the visualization of the data. The visualization task is where you get to bring your data to life, where you are going to tell a story using your data, different patterns, different visualizations, line chart, bar chart, stack chart, pie chart, different KPIs, etc. you are going to use to visualize the data. The ultimate goal of the visualized task is to solve business problems. For example, if I'll talk about our help desk analysis, so with the help of visualization, we can get to know what are the key problem areas, where the most tickets are being raised, which is the country from where the most of the issues are coming from. Then we can focus on those particular areas, and based on those corrections, we can make sure these are not going to happen. Now let's talk about the analyze part. The analyze task is the important step of understanding and interpreting the information that is being displayed on the report. Whenever we have to tell a story, we can tell a story using the different visualizations, but the core part is to understand what is going on in the business or in this particular report. So there that core analysis part comes in, where the core analyzing part comes into the picture, where we can use the different filters, slicers, and can click on different charts, and we can analyze actually how the things are going on with this report or with my organization or with that particular department. In your role as a data analyst, you should understand the critical capabilities of Power BI and use those capabilities to find the insights, identify patterns and trends, predict outcomes, and then communicate those insights in a way that everyone can understand. Power BI provides you advanced analytics capabilities, so make sure you use them. Advanced analytics enables business and organizations to ultimately drive better decisions throughout the business and create additional insights and meaningful results. For example, Power BI can provide you the AI-based visualizations. Those visualizations you can use to drive the core insights from the data. Now the last part comes, the manage. Power BI consists of many components. Those includes reports, dashboards, data sets, and more. As a data analyst, you are responsible for the management of these Power BI assets, overseeing the sharing and distribution of the items and managing the security as well on the Power BI data sets. So data analyst is responsible to managing components like reports, dashboards, security, data sets, and everything. So that's a very critical process, and you should be proficient into this one. Now comes the main part of this tutorial, where you will see the three different questions. You have to answer these three questions, and you can pause this video for a second so that you can see all these three different questions. You can take a snapshot or you can record it, and on the basis of that, you have to answer these questions. In the next video, I'm going to answer these questions. The very first is, which data role enables advanced analytics capabilities through reports and visualization? And our options over here are data scientist, data engineer, and data analyst. The second question is, which task has a critical performance impact on reporting and data analysis? Options are model, analyze, and visualize. Now, the last one is, which one of the following options is a key benefit of data analysis? And our options are decisive analytics, informed business decisions, and complex reports. So guys, please read these questions carefully and answer them yourself. In the next video, I'm going to answer myself these question answers and will explain why. Also, we are going to start the next chapter or the next episode, Get Started Building with Power BI, in our upcoming video, which is going to be on Saturday. So till then, please stay tuned to our channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates.